Right now, what I want to do is introduce everyone who is on the press caravan with us here today. First off, 2 years ago, the Indians won the American League earned run average title. Last year, the starting rotation posted the third best earned run average in the American League. This guy's a former world championship pitcher for the Minnesota Twins back in 1991. He's now in his 5th year as the Indians pitching coach. Please welcome Carl Willis. This next guy is the most productive catcher in the American League. Last year he batted .319 with 93 runs batted in. And from July 1st on, he batted .339. An all-star catcher, Victor Martinez. This next guy made the move last year full-time to the Indians bullpen, and as a reliever, he went 3-2 with a .374 ERA. Over the final 2 months of the season, however, he really hit his stride, posting an earned run average of just 1.14. Please welcome Jason Davis. This next young man started the season last year at AAA Buffalo, where he went 9-1 with a .139 ERA. Then he got the call up to the big leagues, and as a rookie, he went 7-4, .357 ERA, including back-to-back complete game shutouts against the Twins and the Mariners. Please welcome Jeremy Sowers. Continuity, knowing that the 5 guys that ended last season will be the 5 guys who will come to spring training in the starting rotation?
Well, I think it's very important. I think, for our club, the confidence that from the front office all the way down to the dugout has in our starting staff. Certainly the game, we feel, begins and ends with the pitching, and certainly it begins with starting pitching. So I think we're in a very good situation with our 5 stars returning this year.
And Mark Shapiro, the Indians general manager, really made a concerted effort to address the bullpen in the offseason, to bring in some veterans. You have a left-hander. It seems like what you really have now, you and Eric Wedge, are options when you get late in the ballgame.
Well, we really do. And you look at the situation, Joe Borowski, 36 saves last year, approaching 100 in his career. Keith Folk, over 100. And, this is a man who retired the last hitter in the World Series to help Boston secure the World Championship. So we feel that we have a closer for the 8th and a closer for the 9th. So it allows us to really shorten the game, potentially go to Aaron Foltz, in the 6th or 7th. And then, with Roberto Hernandez there as well, who has 300-plus saves. It's a very experienced and hopefully deep bullpen.
All right, thanks, Carl. Next up, Victor Martinez. Last year, offensively, this team was prolific when it came to the grand slam home run. What was it that made this team so good?
I was the one who was affected.
What was it that made this team so good in bases-loaded situations?
I mean, we really took a good approach at the plate, and we went out there and looked for a pitch to hit, and a pitch that we can handle. I mean, Hafner, he hit like 6, it was, right? And then 6, 7. And I was kind of sad because every time I come up to the plate, the bases empty. But that was I think our main approach. Don't give a bat away, and take it the at bats. Like it's gonna be the last at bat of your life.
How excited are you to know that all the 5 starters are back for next year? I mean, you obviously had a lot of chances and a lot of time to work with those guys last year. Does familiarity help you as a catcher?
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm pretty excited just to get start tomorrow, and all 5 started. I mean, been doing a great job for us, and all bullpen got solid. So I'm pretty excited. I mean, the whole team, and I think you guys too. I mean, we just want to start tomorrow and see what happens.
I should tell our audience today that Victor left home 2 days ago. It was 95 degrees in Venezuela, so he's hanging in there pretty good. Thanks, Victor. Next up, Jason Davis, member of the Indians bullpen, and as I mentioned, Jason, really bounced back and forth from starter to reliever, back to starter. Last year, he was in the bullpen for the entire season and really seemed to come into his own. At what point, when you made the switch full-time to reliever, did it feel comfortable? Like, okay, this is where I belong?
Well, last year in spring training, I got to be in the bullpen for the whole spring, and I think that was a big help for me just to kind of help me get ready for the season, knowing what to expect, being in the bullpen every day and being able to pitch every day. So that was a big help for me last year.
You told me before that as a starter, you only work every 5 days, so if you have a bad start, you have to sit around and stew about it before you get another chance to go out there. Likewise, though, in the bullpen, I mean, it can be a real roller coaster ride from one day to the next.
Right, and that's one thing you got to learn. You can't take it out there with you the next day. You got to get it off your shoulders and be fresh and be ready to compete and go out there and try to get it done the next day.
How do you get it off your shoulders? How do you beat up Carl Willis in the clubhouse after the game?
No, luckily I've had some guys that I've picked their brain a little bit. Like Bob Whitman was able to kind of help me, learn how to forget about stuff, and you just got to do whatever you can out there to not think about it, just think about the hitter and go out there and just be ready to compete.
Thanks, Jason. Jason Davis. Next up, Jeremy Sowers. We talked about last year in his rookie year, won 7 games, had the back-to-back complete game shutouts. When you look ahead to 07, having a chance to literally start from day one in the big leagues, is that, I mean, the transition last year from AAA to the big leagues, obviously there was an adjustment period. This year is a whole different adjustment period because now some teams have seen you, and obviously you have to make the adjustment right back against the hitters.
Yes, it's not an easy deal to do. The hitters in this league, major leagues versus the minor leagues, have access to every pitch you've ever thrown, and by doing that, they're able to basically figure out what you try to do to get them out. They make an adjustment, so you have to adjust to what you adjusted, and it's basically a the domino effect. They do something, you do something, they do something. It's complicated.
How do you, Jeremy, keep from information overload? Because you've got veteran pitchers who can help you, you've got a pitching coach, you've got yourself, and all of that access to the video.
Quite honestly, I just try to come up with 1 or 2 things. For the most part, when you're pitching in a game, the game kind of dictates how you're going to approach certain hitters. However, if there's one thing you can find out about a hitter, you never know when that situation is going to come up. You notice one little thing about a hitter, and sure enough, there's an important situation in the 7th or 8th inning. That hitter comes up, and you have something to work with, and 9 times out of 10 it works. So it's just a matter about getting that one thing that you think can give you the advantage in an important moment in the game.
And of course, remembering it, which for most of us would kill us.
Well, that's why I only try to remember 1 or 2 things. It's not very complicated, though. Low and away, mix pitches up. It's not complicated in that sense. You just have to have an idea of what you're doing and a justification for why you're doing it. That way, as long as you have a plan, usually it's the right way to go.
Thanks, Jeremy. You obviously had a great plan last year. Looking forward to great things this season as well.